Welcome to the complete course of AutoCAD 2018, 19 and 20. I congratulate you for taking the very first step towards learning this software. So before we begin, I want you to download the lesson files which are required in this course. So throughout this course, you'll notice that I've used some ready-made files. And when you'll browse through videos, you'll also notice that video lectures will start with ready-made drawings. So these drawings are available for you also, and you can download these drawings using this link right here in the introduction video. Now, I hope you have access to AutoCAD software. And for this course, AutoCAD 2016 or any other latest version is recommended. So any version 2016 or later version is good for this course. But if you don't have any version of AutoCAD, then you can once again click on this link to download the student version of AutoCAD with 3-year education license from Autodesk website. To download the software, all you need to do is just go to the website, create a free account, add the details, and you'll receive your 3-year AutoCAD license on your email. Now, this course has been made with Windows operating system, and I'll assume that you're using AutoCAD for Windows. But if you are using AutoCAD for Mac, then the user interface will be different. And to help you follow along the course, I've created this separate playlist for Mac users. Now, since this course is made with AutoCAD 2018, 2019, and 2020 versions of AutoCAD, the course will include all the new features of the 3 versions as well. So primarily this course is made with 2018. You'll find most of the videos from 2018 version, but the new features of all the versions are also included in this course. So once again, no matter what version you're using, this course is good for you. Now, this course is for absolute beginners as well as expert users. So if you are an absolute beginner and you don't know anything about AutoCAD and you're just starting from scratch, then this course is, well, best for you. Just follow this course from the very first video and follow along this course with quizzes and practice drawings, which are provided in this course. But if you are an expert user who is already familiar with AutoCAD and wants to brush up the topics, then you can skip the topics which you are comfortable with. And if you only want to check out any specific topic in the course, then also you can just go to that module and learn that particular topic. Now, if you are a user who is planning to appear for Autodesk Certified User or Autodesk Certified Professional exam, then this course is also helpful. The topics of the certification exam are marked with this certificate stamp icon. So all the topics which are also part of the certification exam are marked with this. So if you're only planning to appear for certification exam, then you can skip the topics that you don't need and you can only prepare with the certification topics. Now, at the end of this course, you will get your certificate of completion, and you can click on this icon to download your certificate of completion once you've finished the course 100%. Now, I've tried to keep a comfortable pace of lectures, but still, if you feel that the playback speed is fast or even slow, then you can control that using the playback speed control options. So you can either speed up the videos using the playback speed control, or you can slow it down according to your preference. So that was all you needed to know before starting this course. This course is fairly comprehensive and it includes almost every topic of AutoCAD. So that is why it is imperative that you know everything about this course and how to best use all the materials in this course. Now, the course mainly comprises of video lectures, and these video lectures are divided into different lessons and modules. So we have multiple modules and all of these modules contain their lecture videos. Now, at the end of every module, you will find a practice drawing which will be related to that module, and also you'll find the practice quiz. So I recommend you to go through the practice drawing or the practice exercise as well as the quizzes to assess your performance. At the end of this course, there is a complete practice drawing module as well. And that practice drawing module contains the practice drawings from different disciplines of engineering. For example, you'll find drawings from mechanical, civil, architectural, and electrical disciplines. Now, I've also created 2 PDF ebooks for you, and these ebooks are the quiz ebook, which is actually a collection of quizzes from this course with the answer key, and a 150 AutoCAD command list ebook. So you can download both of these ebooks by clicking this link, and these PDFs are absolutely free for you. Now, as you will move further into the course, Udemy will prompt you for adding reviews, and you can add your opinion about the course. You can add the reviews multiple times in this course. So if you feel like you're not ready to add the reviews in the first few prompts for adding the review, then you can also skip adding the review. And if you feel like this course deserves a 5-star, then I encourage you to share your reviews and ratings. For any course related questions, you can always reach me in the Q&A section, or you can also send me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So let's get started with the complete course of AutoCAD. Now we'll actually start working with AutoCAD. But before we begin working with AutoCAD, I want you to familiarize with 2018, 19, and 20 version of AutoCAD, because we'll be using all the 3 versions in this course. Now, to begin with 2018 version, well, this is how it looks like. So on the very left, I have 2018 version of AutoCAD, then I have 2019 and 2020. So 2018 version and 19 version, they look almost similar with subtle changes in the user interface icons, but the 2019 version has kind of a noticeable difference, and you can see that the user interface now has this smoky black color of ribbons and much more colorful icons. So about the user interface, this is the only change that you'll notice. There are, however, new features added in every single version of AutoCAD, and in this course I've included all the new features of 2018, 2019 and 2020 versions, and they are included in the respective modules. Now, to highlight the differences in the user interface, I'm going to first go to this 2018 version. And now here in this version, the icons like a trim icon and the block icon, the property icon, they are changed and they look a bit modern. So this is how the icons used to look like in 2018, and now in the 2019 version the trim icon looks like this, and you can see the difference here. Let me just go to that again. Here's the trim. It looks like this. Now the block icon looks like this in 2019, although it used to look like this in the 2018 version. Also the property panel, well, it's different. So a much more flat and colorful kind of feel has been added in the 2019 version. Now let's just close this 2018 version of AutoCAD, and now I'll compare 2019 with 2020. So here in this case, again, we have same set of icons. The icons are not changed, and if I expand this one, you'll notice that we have exactly same set of icons. The only major difference which you'll notice here, well, as I mentioned earlier, is the color of user interface. So functionally, the versions 2018, 19 or 20, no matter what you're using, they are exactly the same. They have same set of tools, and wherever required, the new tools and features of all of these versions are discussed in the course. Now, throughout this course, we'll be using AutoCAD 2018 version primarily because this is the version which is mostly in use in the industry. But for discussing the new features of the respective version, I've used the software of that particular version. So now I'm gonna go to this AutoCAD 2019 and I'll maximize this. And now let's have a look at the user interface. So when you start AutoCAD, you will reach this start screen. So when you start AutoCAD for the first time, this is how your AutoCAD software will look like. We'll have this start tab, and this start tab will have 3 columns. So we have get started, recent documents, and notification columns. In the get started column, we have this start drawing panel from where you can start completely new drawing, or you can select these predefined templates to start your drawing from. Now these templates are ready-made settings, and these settings include the settings related to units, dimensions, and other properties, and you can make these templates yourself and you can start your drawing using your own custom templates as well. But in this case, we'll start with the default template acad.dwt. This is the highlighted one. So if you click on start drawing, AutoCAD will start your drawing using this template. We'll do that in a moment. You can also open existing file using open files option. You can open a sheet set. You can explore more templates online or explore sample drawings using this option. Now, when you open new drawings, it will show up in this list. So this is the last drawing which I opened, and this is the date and time. And also when I hover my cursor, it's going to show the location of that drawing on the tooltip. This list has all the documents which I have recently opened. And if you want to change the view of this list, you can select these icons. So you can change it to the thumbnail view or to the list view. I'm going to change it back to the default view. Now we have some push pins, and using these push pin, you can fix these drawings permanently. So now whenever you open a new drawing, it will be added to this list from here, and these 2 drawings will always remain at the top because of the push pin. But if you want to let go of these drawings, then select the push pins again, and now the new drawings will start adding from this top drawing. Here in the notification column, you will be notified of the new updates and the notifications related to your software, and you can see your A360 account related information right here on this panel. So now let's start our blank template. So I'll go to this template, and as you can see, acad.dwt is selected. So if you click here, the drawing will start with this setting. Or if you want to start your drawing without any template, then you can also select no template imperial if you want to use imperial unit of feet and inches, or you can start with the metric units. So it's up to you. If you don't want to use a template, select either of these, or select acad.dwt to start your drawing from the default template, or just click on this big button right here, start drawing panel, and your drawing will start from whatever template you have selected here. In this case, acad.dwt. So I'll click here. And now a new drawing opened up. This is drawing number 2. Now in this user interface, on the top left, we have this application button. Using this application button, you can access some frequently used tools, like you can open a new drawing, you can open existing drawing, you can save the file, save as, you can import files of other formats, and you can export these files, you can print, publish, and you can select other options, including the units. These tools are also available on this quick access toolbar. So you can see the same set of tools right here on the quick access toolbar. Now some of these tools, like Open from Web and Mobile and Save to Web and Mobile, are new to AutoCAD 2019, and you won't be able to see these tools in the older versions of AutoCAD. The AutoCAD software now uses this tab and panel view, and this area with tabs and panel is called the ribbon area. So we have this ribbon area on which we have all of these tabs: home tab, insert tab, annotate tab, and so on. And on these tabs we have these panels. So this one is draw panel, modify panel, annotation panel, and all of these panels are on home tab. So these tabs are arranged in a logical way, and just like every software, you will find similar set of tools on a particular panel. For example, all the tools related to inserting anything in AutoCAD will be found here. For all the annotation tools, you need to go to this annotate tab, and so on. Home tab contains a combination of all of these tools, and it generally has the frequently used tools in AutoCAD. So all the draw related commands are here, the modify commands are here, annotation are here, layers here, and so on. Although in this case, this tabbed view is preferred, still if you want to use the menu, which was a classical feature in the older versions of AutoCAD, then you can do that pretty easily. To show the menu, go to this down pointing arrow and select show menu bar, and now you'll have this extra menu bar which you can use to access your commands. Now once again, this is similar to these tabs and panels. For example, if you want to access draw commands, you can go to draw menu and we have all the draw commands right here. The modify commands are right here, the parametric commands here, and so on. The dimensions are here. So you can also access your tools from here. So I'm going to go to this menu again and I'll hide the menu bar. We don't need it. Now these panels, although they look permanently fixed here, they are floating type, and you can move these panels out of this ribbon area. Now to move these panels out, all you need to do is just grab these panels. So I'm going to click on draw, and now this will expand to show all the hidden tools and also this blank area. So just click anywhere in the blank area and drag it out. And now this will work like a floating panel, and this tab will adjust to fit all the remaining panels. If you want to move it back to its original location, all you need to do is just hover your cursor close to this right side of the panel and click on this return panel to ribbon icon, and this will return back to right here to the home tab. Most of these panels contain extra tools which are visible when you select this arrow, and when you select that, you're going to see all of these extra tools. If you move your cursor out of this area, the panel will collapse automatically, but if you want to keep it open permanently, then you can expand the panel and click on this push pin to keep it permanently open. In this case, I'll click on this push pin again, and this will collapse. Now here we have the drawing tab. So we have the start tab, which we have seen already. Then we have drawing 2, and if you want to open more drawing tabs, all you need to do is click on this plus icon, and then you'll have a new tab and you can create as many tabs as you want. To close the tabs, just click on this X icon to close it. This part of the AutoCAD software is called drawing area, and this is the area where real magic happens. This is the area where everything in AutoCAD will be drawn. Now this area has the navigation controls right here and the visual style controls. We have the view cube, the navigation bar, and the UCS. You can control visibility of all of these tools from the view tab. So right here on the view tab, we have these options, UCS icon, which is right now selected. Click on this and the UCS will disappear. We have view cube, click and it will disappear, and then navigation bar, just click on it and it will also disappear. You can also control the visibility of file tabs. So these are file tabs. You can click on this file tabs if you don't want to show them. And you can also control the visibility of layout tabs, and these are the layout tabs. You can just toggle its visibility like this. To bring it back, just click on these icons once again and you'll have them back in your drawing. Now I'll go back to Home tab, and here we have the command line. So let's talk about this. So this is the command line, command bar, command palette, whatever you want to call it. But throughout this course, I'll call it command line. Now every command which you enter in AutoCAD will show up right here, and you can start any command in AutoCAD simply by clicking on these icons on the ribbon, or you can type its alias, or you can type the command name also on the command line. To type the command name, you don't need to click your cursor right here and type the name. Rather, you just need to simply start typing. And when you type anything, it will be added right here on the command line. So now I've got the C and I'll type circle and it will show me the commands here. So we have circle and T-circle. These are the two commands that we have here, and we have a system variable as well. We'll talk about these later on. So now I'll press escape to get rid of these selections. And then we have the status bar, which will help us in making precise drawings. So status bar is also an important tool, which we'll discuss. And finally, let's talk about the command search feature. So as you can see, we have a lot of commands right here on the ribbon and these tabs, and also there are some commands which are not available on the ribbon. So it may get a little intimidating for you to actually find the tool that you need. But AutoCAD has made this process a lot easier, and you can actually find the location of any tool or command in this user interface. Now, to find the location of any command, all you need to do is just go to this application button and start typing the name of command. Now, in this case, I'll start typing circle, and here it is. So AutoCAD will find out all the tools or commands with similar name or similar functions, and it will also show you these results with the best possible match on the top. So we have the circle command right here. This is what we needed. And actually we have 6 different ways of making circle. That's fine. Let's look at the first option. Here on the home tab, draw panel, circle flyout, we have the circle command. And also for the other circle commands, we need to follow the similar set of path. So let's locate the first one, home tab, draw panel, circle flyout. All right, I'm going to click here. So let's go to home tab here, draw panel, okay, and the circle flyout right here. And we have 6 circle commands. So it's as easy as that. So just by using that search feature of the command, you can locate any command or tool in AutoCAD. And that was an introduction of user interface. So now let's have a look at some of the navigation tools available in AutoCAD. So in AutoCAD, you need to use a 3-button mouse with left click, right click, and a scroll wheel for accessing the navigation tools. And in order to select or in order to activate any command, you need to select it from the corresponding tab and panel. So simply go to that command and left click, and the command will now be activated. And once the command is active, you'll notice that its name and also the instruction will be visible on the command line, and also the cursor will change into this point selection cursor or into a pick box, which is similar to this. So when you select the corresponding command, it will return to this either pick box or a point selection cursor, and also the name of command will be active. In order to exit this, simply press the escape key. You can press escape multiple times also if you want, so that will not make any change to the drawing. And now in order to zoom in and zoom out from the drawing, you simply need to rotate the mouse wheel. So here we have these 3 objects. Let's say that we want to zoom into this area of the drawing on the lower left of this rectangle. For that, simply bring your cursor to the lower left of this rectangle and now rotate the mouse wheel. And when you rotate the mouse wheel, it will zoom in, and when you rotate it in the opposite side, it will zoom out, and the center of zoom will be the point where you put your cursor. So in this case, if I move my cursor to the top of this triangle, it will take this point as the center of zoom, and we can zoom in and zoom out like this. In order to pan this drawing or move this drawing in the drawing area, simply press and hold the mouse key, and the cursor will change into this hand, and now you can move it in the drawing area like this. You can also access these navigation tools directly from the navigation bar. So here we have this pan tool. Simply select it. Now you'll be able to move it or pan it in the drawing. And in order to use the zoom tools, simply select this small arrow right under the zoom extents tool, and we have multiple options for zoom. So you can select any of these options. For example, in this case, the zoom extents is selected as default. So if you select zoom extents, the drawing will fit completely in the area provided. So wherever our drawing is, it hardly matters. When you select the zoom extent, it will fit in provided space. Also, we have some other options like this zoom window, which can be used for zooming on a particular object. For example, in this case, let's say that we want to zoom into this circle. Simply make a window around the circle, and the circle will be brought into perspective. It will be zoomed in the current workspace. We also have some other options like zoom previous that will return to the previous state of zoom, And also one of the option here, this zoom object. So select the zoom object, click on the object, and that object will be brought in the complete area of the drawing. In a similar way, you can also access all of these options according to your requirement or the requirement of a specific drawing. We can also access the 3D orbit tool, and using the 3D orbit tool you can see this drawing from X, Y and Z axis. So currently we are able to see this drawing from X and Y axis, or from the top view only, that you can see here with the top view. But in order to see it from the 3 axis, or if you want to see the height of this drawing as well, simply go to this orbit tool from the navigation bar, select the orbit tool, and now orbit your drawing just like this. And now you'll notice that the triangle is actually a 3D shape with a certain height here also. So you can orbit the drawing to see it. We also have another orbit option, which is free orbit, that is useful for viewing our drawing more freely in different axes, and you learn about these tools in much better way in our 3D course. So let's press escape key, and now if you want to access the same tool using the mouse, you can do that as well. Simply press and hold shift key, then press the mouse wheel, and now instead of pan, that will convert it into this orbit tool, and now you can orbit the drawing in the free space. In order to return back to the original condition, simply click on the top of this view cube, and here we have it, the default configuration. Although the angle is not correct, that we can also correct using this small arrow here. So in this way we can navigate in our AutoCAD drawings. AutoCAD uses the very popular Cartesian coordinate system for making the drawings, and in Cartesian coordinate system we have X, Y and Z axis. Here we have this X axis represented with a red line, the Y axis represented with a green line, and we also have a Z axis which we cannot see because we're in the 2D plane. The Z axis is pointing outwards from the screen right now. Now all the points in this Cartesian system are measured from this point, which is the intersection of X and Y axis, or the intersection of X, Y and Z axis in 3D, and that point is taken as 0, 0, 0, and each 0 represents the X, Y and Z axis respectively. Now if you talk about 2D coordinate system, we only have X and Y axis. So the first coordinate point will be the X axis and the second coordinate point will be Y axis as shown here. Now if you could see the grids in this drawing area, you'll notice that I have divided this complete block into 10 grids in horizontal direction. So we have these 10 grids in the horizontal and 10 in vertical direction, and the size of each block of this grid is 1 by 1 unit. So the length and width of this block is 1 unit in each direction, and the size of this big block is 10 units in length and 10 units in width or height. Now in order to find the coordinate of any point with respect to the origin, all we have to do is find out its X and Y values. So let's say that we want to find out the coordinates of this point. So all we need to do is count the number of X blocks and then number of Y blocks. So in this case we have number of X blocks as 10. So after 10 blocks we can make a line that will intersect this point. Now after 10 blocks along Y direction, if we make a line, it will also intersect the same point. So the coordinate of this point is X10, Y10, and that will be 10, 10. Now similarly in this case we have this point, and the coordinates of this point will be 10 in x-axis, because after 10 blocks along x-axis we have this point here, and the y coordinate of this point will be 4 because after 4 blocks we have this point. So the coordinate value of this point will be 10, 4. Now that's the simple Cartesian coordinate system. Now if you want to use the polar coordinate system, then you can do that as well, and I've made a geometry here. Now this line starts from the origin and the length of this line is 10 units. This line is also inclined to an angle of 30 degrees. So if you don't want to specify the end point of this line in terms of Cartesian coordinate system and you want to specify it in other units, which is the polar coordinate system, then you need to represent the values as the length of line and the angle included here. So that will be the length, which is 10 units, and then the angle, which is 30. So this will be the value in polar coordinate system. So now we can represent this endpoint in terms of polar coordinates using this coordinate value, and we'll learn about this later on in this complete course. So now here we have a completely blank drawing area. So in the current drawing area, we don't know the extent of dimensions. For example, if you make a line of length 10 units in this drawing area, we don't know how long it will be. So in order to set that limit, we can use the limits command. So type limits and press enter. So now this will prompt you to specify the lower left corner, which is 0, 0 in this case. So simply type 0, 0, or you can directly press enter, because the values in this angle bracket is the default value that will be accepted if you directly press enter. So you can also directly press enter. So I'll now press enter, and now you'll notice the upper right corner value, and the upper right corner value is simply the values of coordinate on this corner. So you can see that the lower left corner values are 0, 0, and the upper right corner values are 420, 297. That means the length of this screen should be 420 units and the height should be 297 units, whatever the unit of current drawing is. But that's not always the case. In this case, the height is obviously 297, but depending upon the aspect ratio or the screen resolution or the size of screen, your length may differ. So obviously we know that the length of upper right corner is 297. So if you want to accept the value, simply press enter. And if you want to change these values, you can do so by entering the new value. So I'll type 100, 60, and now press enter. So now we know that the height should be equal to 60 unit, and depending upon that height, the length will adjust automatically. But before checking that, we need to ensure that the settings are applied, and the settings can be applied by using zoom all command. So type Z for zoom, press enter, and then type A and press enter. Now the settings are applied. So let's make a simple line. I'll go to this line command, and we'll learn about this line command later on in the next module. And now click at a point somewhere close to this bottom point, and now make a straight line of length 60 units and press enter. And you'll notice that the length of this line is equal to 60 units, which we have already set in the limits. So now we know the limit of this current screen, which is 60 by almost 100 or 120. Now we also need to know the unit of the current drawing, and for that you can check the display unit by clicking this application button, selecting the drawing utilities, and from here select the units. So now you can see the display unit or the units which will be displayed in the drawing area from this window. So right now the length has decimal type here, which you can change to architectural. If you want to see it in feet and inches, you can see the sample output here, and I'll change it to decimal again. Now here we have the precision. So currently the precision is set to 4 decimal places. You can change it to 2, 3, or whatever value you want. So this will not change the actual precision, but it will only change the precision of the values which are displayed on the screen. So I'm changing the precision to 2 places, and now the insertion scale, which will be the scale of external geometries which are inserted. It's set to mm. You can change it to any of these units, whichever you want. So you can change it to inches, you can change it to feet or something else. So I'll keep it at mm. And here we have the angle type, which is set to decimal degrees. You can also change it to degree, minute, second, grades, radians, or surveyor units. And here also we have the precision, which I'll change to 2 decimal places. If you want to reverse the direction of positive angle, you can click on this clockwise checkbox. So the anti-clockwise direction is generally taken as positive in AutoCAD, but if you want to reverse that, you can click on this checkbox to make clockwise direction as positive. So I'll keep it unchecked, and now I'll click on OK. So we have set the display unit for this drawing as well. We have also set the limits. In the next lesson, we will learn about saving these settings as a template file. So now we have defined the units as well as the limits in our drawing. We will save these settings as a template. But before saving the settings as a template, we'll change some of the parameters on the status bar of our drawing, because these parameters are really very useful, and we'll learn about these tools and these status bar toggles in the upcoming modules. For now, we'll simply keep a simple kind of setting that can be used in the upcoming lessons. So make sure that this grid display is off, although you can keep it on. If you keep it on, it will show this grid, but if it is visible, just keep it off. Also, this snap mode should be off, so that's very important option. This should be off, and when it is off, it will show like this gray icon. So all of these icons will show like these gray icons. So if it is off, it will show like this gray. Now this grid, snap, both should be off. Also make sure that this dynamic input is off. So in your case, you may not be able to see this kind of tool, the dynamic input tool, and if it is not visible on your status bar, then go to the customization on the far right and select dynamic input. So keep this option checked. So right now we have a lot of different options here, and only the options which are checked will show up on the status bar. So make sure dynamic input is checked, and once it is checked, it will show up here on the status bar, but now unchecked from the status bar. If it is checked, it will show like this blue icon. Just make sure it is unchecked. Also, we have the ortho as well as the polar tracking. So make sure this polar tracking is on, not this ortho. So right now all of these options should be off except this polar tracking. Only this should be on. Also make sure that this object snap should be on and object snap tracking should be on. So we are keeping only three options: polar, object snap tracking, object snap. So these three options should be on. Rest of the options can be kept off. So you can just deactivate all the remaining options, but make sure only these three options are on, because these are the settings that we will use for the remaining drawings. Now, since we have already set our limits and units, we'll save that as well as this status bar setting as a template. Now to save it as a template, go to this application button and select save as. Now drawing template. Now this will open the default template folder, which is located deep within the installation directory. You can see that it is deep within that C drive and the installation directory, but you can save it at your desired location. So in this case, I'll save it on the desktop. So I'll go to desktop and I'll give it a name, sample template in this case, and look at this, we are saving this as a DWT file, not as a DWG file. So the template has this DWT extension. Now click on save and it will prompt you for the description. If you want to add that, go ahead, do that, else click on OK. Now that template is saved on the desktop. If you want to open a new drawing with the template which you just created, you can go to this new icon and it will open this template folder. Then click on desktop, locate the template, click on open, and once again it will open your drawing with all those default settings on the status bar as well as in the background, like units and limits. Just to streamline the process of learning with this course, I've created this very short playlist, and hopefully using this playlist you will be able to comfortably follow along the AutoCAD for Windows course using your Mac AutoCAD. Now before I begin exploring the user interface of Mac, I want you to tell you about key differences between AutoCAD for Windows and AutoCAD for Mac and why these differences exist in the first place. So basically, AutoCAD for Mac was not in production for quite some time, and then Autodesk decided to make it from scratch, which will be completely based on Mac OS software. So Autodesk simply did not want to make just a copy of the Windows version. Instead, they just wanted to make a completely new product which will be suited for the Mac users, and this new AutoCAD for Mac is a result of that. Since AutoCAD for Mac has been made from ground up for Mac OS, it will feel a lot more similar to all the other Mac applications. But this AutoCAD for Mac is, in a way, still in production, and not all the tools and feature sets are transferred from the Windows version to the Mac version. The features are gradually added to the Mac version with every new release of AutoCAD for Mac, but there are some features and tool sets which Autodesk was not able to add because of limitations of the operating system. But still, both AutoCAD for Mac and Windows work in completely similar way. The major shocker or the major difference which you'll see here is the user interface, which is different, but apart from that, everything works exactly the same. Even the DWG file format, which is the native file format for AutoCAD, is similar for both the versions, and if you make a drawing in AutoCAD for Mac and open it in AutoCAD for Windows, it will work. Similarly, the vice versa is also true. So the files are compatible on both the versions of AutoCAD. Also, there are many features which are not available in AutoCAD for Mac, and to get a comprehensive list of that feature set, you can go to the link in this video and it will take you to this page. On this page, you can clearly see that we have kind of a comparison between the AutoCAD for Windows and Mac. This comparison is for 2019 version, but it will be updated for the latest version as well. So here I have drawing layout quick view, not available in Windows, but it's available in Mac. And yes, you can see there is a big comparison chart here. And obviously AutoCAD for Mac has a lot of missing features. One of the most prominent one will be dynamic block, which you can see is quite limited. It's still there, but it's called Content Explorer, which is limited. Not all the blocks are here, but still it's there. To check the complete comparison chart, click the link and it will take you to this one. Even when you are using AutoCAD for Mac and the course has been made with AutoCAD for Windows, I still encourage you to explore the Mac environment, try to figure out the tools. If they are not available on the ribbons or on the panels, try to use its command, because the commands are exactly similar in both the versions, in AutoCAD for Mac as well as in AutoCAD for Windows. They are exactly the same. But still, if you're not able to figure out the commands and tools and the way they work, you can drop me a message or you can let me know in the Q&A section of the course, and I'll try to get back with answers as soon as possible. So now let's have a look at the user interface of AutoCAD for Mac. So now I'll introduce you to the Mac environment of AutoCAD, and here I'll try to make a comparison between this environment and the Windows environment. So we'll try to compare both the user interfaces, and after this comparison, I believe you will be comfortable in following along this AutoCAD for Windows course using the Mac environment. But still, this comparison will not be 100%. You won't be able to find all the tools of Windows environment inside this Mac AutoCAD, but it will definitely introduce you to most of the fundamental tools. So just like every classical Mac software interface, we have the menu structure here on the top. So we have file, edit, view, insert, format, and all these things. And when you select any of these, for example, if you select this draw menu, you'll get all the draw tools here. Selecting the dimension will show you all the dimension related tools and so on. So this one is pretty straightforward, and you can not only access the tools from here, but you can also access the tools from these panels right here on the left and also from the panel here on the right. Now let's talk about this area, the toolbar area. Now here we already have some of these tools on the toolbar, but if you want to customize this and if you want to bring some extra tools, you want to put them here, then you can easily do it just by customizing it. So simply right click on this blank area and select customize toolbar. Now this customize toolbar panel will pop up, and here all you need to do is drag and drop the tools that you want to add. So here we have all the tools which are already available on this toolbar, and these are the tools which are still not available on the toolbar. So if you want to add the tools from here to maybe the panel, then all you need to do is just select the tool, drag it and drop it, and it's now added. Select done, and we now have the audit tool here on the toolbar. On the left side, we have drafting and modeling tabs, and these tabs, the drafting and modeling tabs, are also divided into respective panels. For example, here on the drafting tab, we have the draw panel, hatch, block, modify, text, dimension, and so on. Also on the modeling panel, we have the 3D tools, the solid, surface, mesh, UCS, draw, and so on. So these are the 3D tools. I'll move back to drafting. Now these panels don't contain all the tools. We have line, polyline, circle, and here if you click and hold your cursor, you will see all the remaining circle tools, so all the 6 circle tools. Similarly, if you click here and hold your cursor on the rectangle tool, you will get the rectangle and the polygon tools. So you can access these tools from here. But still, if you're not able to find any of the draw tools which you are expecting on the draw panel, then click on the gear icon right here and select the tool. So this list contains all the tools which we have here. So all the tools which are active are selected here, but these tools are not available on the panel. For example, we don't have 3D polyline, we don't have helix, donut. If you want to make them active, just select them from here. If not, just uncheck these tools. Similarly, you can toggle the visibility of tools on other panels as well. Now, if you want to make your own panel here on the drafting tab, then you can do that also pretty easily. So go to the bottom of this drafting tab, and right underneath this empty area, click on this plus icon, and this will open the new panel dialog box. Here you need to specify the name. So I'm going to select the new panel here and I'll call it source CAD. All right, now to add the tools here, all you need to do is find the tool and drag and drop it into this empty area. So the tools are here, all the tools of AutoCAD. All you need to do is just make a search. So go to search, type the name. So let's maybe add purge tool. So I'll type it and this will show you the purge commands. I've got this purge tool here. I'll select it, I'll drag it and drop it, and it's added. Not only here, but it's also added here. You can add as many tools as you want on this new panel. Once you are done with this, click to get rid of the panel, and here we have a completely new panel, and you can just select your tools from this panel. If you don't want these panels, you can click on this bin icon just next to the gear icon and this will just disappear. Select delete, and there we go. Just like the AutoCAD for Windows environment, we have the drawing area pretty similar, and this is the drawing area. On the top left, we have the view controls here. So right now we're in the top view. You can change it to any other view from this list. We have the visual style control right next to it. And then here we have the view cube. On the bottom left, we have the UCS, and here we have the command line or the command bar. The status bar is also at the same place, and here also if you want to activate or deactivate icons on the status bar, all you need to do is just go to this gear icon, click on it, and select the status bar options that you want to keep active. In this list, the icons which are active are these. The icons which are checked are active, and these are inactive icons. You can obviously check or uncheck these icons to make them visible here on the status bar. In this case, I will activate the constraint mode, and maybe I'll also deactivate the coordinates, and here's the result. Coordinates are gone, constraint mode is added, and I'll click on this gear icon to get rid of this, and I'll click outside in the blank area of the drawing to get rid of this. Now if you don't see any of the objects from the drawing area, for example, if you don't have the view cube, then you can go to the view menu and toggle its visibility. So right now here we have the view cube, it's on. If it's off, it won't show up here. So just make sure it is checked. If not, check it. If you don't want to see the view cube here, just uncheck this. On the right side, we have here the layers and the properties panel. So on this tab, we have this layers panel, and here we have the properties panel. So the layer panel contains all the layer related tools, and if you want to see the complete list of layers, then click on this arrow, and now this menu will show you all the layers that we have here. So we only have a single layer here, as you can see, and also we have the similar set of tools like freeze, lock, and the line weight, the line type, and you can also scroll to the right to see the remaining tools. So we have the similar set of tools. Not all the tools are available here, but still we do have most of the tools. So I'm gonna just hide it. And similarly, for external references, you can go to the next tab right here. We have the reference manager, which is for external references. And for the block library, we have the content explorer. So on this content explorer, these are the blocks. The block library is not very comprehensive. It's not like the Windows Design Center. And in this case, you will find limited set of blocks. And to toggle between different blocks, all you need to do is just go to this menu and select the type of block that you want to find here. So civil related blocks, electrical, here are the electrical blocks, mechanical, and so on. Now moving back to the first tab. Now here we have the properties panel, and this property panel will show you the list of properties of selected object. Right now we don't have anything selected, so it's showing the property of our current drawing area. But if you want to see a condensed property or the properties which are very frequently used, then you can also select this My tab here. And now AutoCAD will only show you the list of condensed property or the frequently used properties. Now this list is fully customizable. It's your list. You can just modify it, and you can add or remove properties in this list. Now to modify this list, go to this edit option and check the properties that you want to keep and uncheck those which you don't want to keep. So for example, in this case, we don't want to keep any properties related to plot style. So here I'll simply uncheck this first option here on the plot style, and all the plot style properties will be unchecked. Also, let's say that in 3D visualization, we do want to keep the materials. So I'll only check this material, and now we'll have the material option. So once you're done with this, click on this edit icon again, and we are back to this, and here we have the material property. So again, I'll move back to all properties. Now, one of the most helpful tools in AutoCAD for Mac, in my opinion, will be the command search feature, which is here in the help menu. So go to help menu, and here, if you are not able to find any tool or command in AutoCAD for Mac, then you can make a search here. For example, let's say we want to find out the location of dimension style. So for that, I'll type dim, and here we are. So we have the dimension style right here. Select this, and here you'll get this menu with this marker indicating the location of your selected tool. You can not only find the location, but you can also select the tools directly. So if you just click here, dimension style will open up. And just like the standard Mac UI, you have the plus, the minus, and the gear icon. So add, remove, or customize. So in this case, we have standard and annotative dimension style. If you want to add a new one, click on this plus icon, give it a name, click on continue to add it. If you want to modify any existing one, for example, standard, select it, click on the gear icon, select modify, and this will take you to modify dimension style. And here you can modify the dimension style, just like its Windows counterpart. So I'm going to now cancel it, and I'll also close it. The workflow for accessing command in AutoCAD for Windows and Mac is almost similar. So to access the commands here, you need to select that command from the panels. So you can select the command from this left panel right here, or you can also use the command aliases and type the command alias or the name of command. In this case, if I hover my cursor, it will show the name of command and the command itself. Now using this command, you can start that particular command and you can type the name of command. For example, in this case, as you just now noticed that circle has its command, well, circle. So you can type circle and press enter, and this will load the circle command. Now, instead of typing the complete circle command, you can also use the aliases. So in this case, the alias for circle is C. So simply type C and press enter, and once again, you'll have the circle command. Not all the commands have their aliases, and if a command has no alias associated with it, then you can use either the user interface to start the command, or you can also use its complete command name. If, however, you want to find the alias of any particular command, or maybe even if you want to modify it, then you can do it using the command line. So I'll go to this command line here, and I'll click just here, and I'll select edit command aliases. Now, in this case, if you want to modify the alias of any command, you can do it very easily from here, or even if you want to find the alias of command, you can do it. So let's say we want to find out the alias of block command. Now for that, just type the name. In this case, block, and you will notice that we have 4 commands associated with block command. So we have this AutoCAD block dialog, which is a system variable. Then we have the block command, which is B. So this is the command which you can use for block tool. So once you're done, click OK, or in this case, cancel. Now the commands in AutoCAD have some sub commands as well, and whenever command starts, it will look something like this. So I'll first go to status bar and I'll activate this option, which will be active in your case by default. So now if I select any command, in this case I'll select polyline, the command will look like this. So I'll have this cursor right next to it. I'll have the instruction. It's the same instruction which we have on the command line. So now we can follow the instruction to make the drawing. So I'm going to click here. That's our first point, and now we can specify the second, third, and so on. But if you don't want to do that, and if you want to use the sub commands, for example, in this case, if you look at the command line, the sub commands are arc, half width, length, undo, and width. So if you want to select from any of these commands, then all you need to do is type the uppercase letter of these commands. For example, if you want to start an arc, then type A here and press enter. And now the arc command started here. So this is how you can use the sub commands in AutoCAD for Mac. Now another example is with the circle tool. So I'm going to now select the circle tool. And once again, if you look at the command line, we have the sub commands called 3P, 2P, and TTR. 3P is the 3-point circle, 2P is the 2-point circle, and TTR is the tangent radius circle. Now let's say that we want to make a 3-point circle. Well, for this case, you need to type 3P and press enter, and the command will change to 3-point circle. If you want to make tangent radius circle, then you need to simply type T, which is the uppercase letter here, and press enter, and the TTR subcommand will start. So in this case, I'm going to type 2P. So 2P, and I'll press enter, and the 2-point command started. Now I'll select the first point and the second, and we have the circle with 2 points. Now in this case, whenever you select a command, it will show that command on the cursor tooltip as well. So if in this case I select the line command, I'll have the tooltip here on the cursor as well. Now this tooltip can be a little distracting, and in most of the situations I'll ask you to deactivate this and work directly with the command line. Now to deactivate this tooltip, you can go to the command line and select this dynamic input option. So turn off this dynamic input, and if it's off, it's going to look like this. It will look gray. If it's on, it will look blue. If you don't see the dynamic input option here, then go to this gear icon and select this dynamic input. Make sure this is checked, and when it is checked, it will show on the status bar, and then you can deactivate it from the status bar. And that's how you can access commands here in AutoCAD for Mac. So this was an introduction to the Mac environment of AutoCAD, and now I believe you are familiar with the tool sets required for following along the AutoCAD for Mac using AutoCAD for Windows course. So let's head back to our course. So now we have completed the first module. Let's look at our first question, which is related to the topics which we have covered in this module. So we need to make a template in AutoCAD with name My Template, and that template should have architectural unit display format. Also, that format should be at a precision of 1/4 of an inch. Also ensure that inches is selected as the unit, and the limit of this template should be set at 50 units in vertical direction. So these are different points that you need to keep in mind. Now let's get back to AutoCAD. So when you launch AutoCAD, you'll reach this 0 screen, and here in this 0 screen, you need to launch it with the default template. So I'll click on Start Drawing, and here we have it, the default template. Now let's check the unit. So I'll type -DWG units and press enter. Now here you can see that on command line we have 1 within angle brackets, and also 1 is for inches. So we have this unit perfectly set. But in case the unit is different here, if it is set to 2, 3, 4 or any other value, then change it to 1 and press enter, and keep rest of the settings at their default. Now I'll simply press escape here, and now type UN for units and press enter. So here we need to make some changes. The first change will be the type of display format, which is set to decimal. We need to change it to architectural, and also the precision should be 1/4 of an inch, which is here. The insertion scale should also be set to inches, and we'll leave rest of the options. I'll click on OK. Now we need to make the third setting, and in case of third setting, we were required to set the limits in vertical direction to 50 units. So I'll type limits and press enter. Now I'll select lower left corner as 0,0 as specified. So I'll simply press enter, and the upper right corner should be whatever value. I'll type 100. In the horizontal direction, that hardly matters, but in vertical direction I'll keep it at 50. And in both the cases I'll add this inch symbol. So 100 inches by 50 inches and press enter. So we still have the old unit. The new units are not yet applied. To apply them, simply type Z for zoom and A for all. Now the limits are applied. So we have made all of these changes. Now we need to save it as a template. So I'll go to this application button, select save as drawing template. Now specify the location. I'll go to desktop, give it a name. So let's name it as My Template. And you can see here DWT extension, click on save, and with the default description, okay. Let's minimize it. And here we have it. We have this My Template on the desktop.